right, hello hobby people. It's time to take another look at the Danchee Ridgerunner by Red Cat. I previewed this a while ago when I got it, kind of took a look at it, spoke about some things I liked, didn't like. Today, I want to give you the 6-month-ish review. It's been a little longer, I think, but I've been sitting on some videos of it for a little bit, just trying to get things done around here. But let's take a look at some of the things I like and don't like after 6 months. Is it still worth recommending and all that? So let's get started. Okay, so here it is. There's the Danchee Ridgerunner. Stock tires back on it, although I do have some other tires I've been running on it too. There's the radio. Really no upgrades I've done to it other than I run a bigger battery in there. I run that full-size pack. I don't use that little dinky pack. I'll be honest, I never really used it except maybe putzing around the house. The radio, I did modify it a little because it just had this perfect spot to hook this phone holder up to. So I use that to hold my phone, record some videos while I am driving around. Other than that, no changes, still the same stock radio. And again, I haven't upgraded or changed anything. And so here are my thoughts. After driving it around, I guess I have changed the tires. I do run different types of tires. I show those in a different video. If you're curious, you can go find those and take a look at them. But as far as any of the hardware, motors, receiver, any of these struts, these links, nothing. I haven't changed anything. But let's take a close look. Now, earlier on, I brought up what I consider a weak point, and I still do think it's a weak point. It is this link. This thing flexes a ton. So when you're steering, and if you were a rock crawler, I'll admit it, I'm not really a rock crawler, at least not yet. Mostly my driving of this has been bashing around the backyard, up at the lake, and just trail riding, right? Trail driving around. But this thing is still, when you come up against something hard, it flexes, man. There's just no getting around it. Now, I know there are some aftermarket stuff or some mods you can do to change that out. Same with the steering servo, not the strongest. When I'm driving this around, one of my complaints is it doesn't always go back to center and track straight. Same with the servo in the rear, and I think upgrading the servos would definitely help with that. When I'm in a tight spot and I'm getting a lot of wheel pressure, upgrading that link across the front would definitely help there. But honestly, again, I didn't buy this thing to do a bunch of modifications, so I'm going to live with it. It's fine. It does not impede my fun level at all. Now, if I was seriously going to compete rock climbing and stuff with this thing, I wouldn't. The reality is I would go buy a purpose-built rock crawler that maybe needed minimal upgrades to make it awesome. This thing is $170, I think, still, and it's awesome for what it is. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I still have a ton of fun with it. So besides these links being plastic and, giving too much, which causes some driving annoyances, nothing super bad, but you feel it. These links really haven't given me any trouble yet, but I anticipate over time that plastic's going to wear. So at some point, I probably will upgrade those, only when I absolutely have to. For now, it's been running great, and I'm just going to continue to run this. So as far as powertrain goes, motors have been fine. My only complaint, and I've seen this, if you do some searching for this particular vehicle, the Danchee, you're going to find that these motors, and it's actually probably related to the speed controller, I think is what they've found out. When you give it throttle, tends to have like a lag. Like, especially, I think it has something to do with these batteries. I don't think it's nearly as bad with the small stock battery that came with it, but these batteries that can flow some serious power to it, it tends to be like all of a sudden jerk. Like it's just on, you're trying to give it low throttle, and then it just jerks. Like it finally engages. Like it finally, that speed controller has kicked on, and it can't handle that much power, so it kind of jerks a little. Again, for me, not a deal breaker, but if you were rock crawling or something like that, that would be pretty annoying. Also, I've noticed that, and I've heard people who are more knowledgeable than me about this, where you get one axle turning and the other one's lagging behind. These are supposed to be geared the same, so that's not purpose built by any means. Sometimes some of these rigs that are built, the axle is geared to go faster in the front and slower in the rear. As far as I know, not the case. These axles all geared the same, all have the same motor, same power, and so they should turn theoretically the same rate. However, like I said, I've noticed where this thing will start to spin, one axle will start to spin tires, and then the other one, until I give it more throttle, won't do anything. Okay, and that's under slow speeds, right? If I'm gunning it, it's going to take off and I'm not even going to notice it. But if you are in a rock crawling situation, you're going to notice that. So I've kind of been picking at it a little bit, saying the things I don't like. What do I like? I love the price. For the price, you can't beat this thing. I shouldn't say that. It's all in the eye of the beholder, right? It's all personal opinion. But I think for the price and the bang for the buck, you get a lot of fun with this setup straight out of the box. I chose not to run that little battery. If that's all you had, you would still have fun with it. Definitely would still have fun with it. I also have not had any, like I said, major issues. Nothing has broken on this thing. Shocks seem to be working just fine. I'm going to start playing with them a little more as far as preloads and stuff. They're starting to, I think they're getting broken into where the chassis is starting to settle a little more. So I might stiffen them up just for, I don't know, to see how it rides and handles. The bigger tires, I got some 2.0s that are pretty beefy. I'm curious to see how well the motors hold up after running those. But so far, no problem. So even with big beefy tires on it, this thing trucks right along. This is no speed demon. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't have 2 speeds. It's slow, but it is so much fun to cruise around with. The 4-wheel steering. Oh my gosh. So fantastic. If it's just in front steer, you get that front steer truck feel where you got a wide turn radius. Put on the 4-wheel steer. Fantastic. It's so much fun. You can maneuver through tight areas, and it's so helpful when I've been crawling, like climbing up hills and stuff, to be able to get those tires to turn. So 4-wheel steer. Crab steer, I don't use it. It's more of a fun thing to do than actually useful for me. I could see it maybe being useful if you're stuck. I guess I could back that up a little, because I did use it a few times to help while I was crawling a hill or crawling on some rocks and stuff. And then finally, the dig function. Dig function on this thing, great. It's fantastic. It's fun. I don't use it a lot, but when I do want to use it, it's fun to be able to have that option right there. So, fun factor, double thumbs up. I don't really have a rating scale, so we're just winging it. The bang for the buck, double thumbs up. Minor gripes, weak steering servos, which again, you'll find information about that all over the internet. These links not working well. Some of that lag when you give it throttle to where it just kind of clunks in and starts going. Also, some of that one axle spinning and not the other. The only other thing, if you watch my previous video, you know I'm not a huge fan of this body. But hey, it's been alright. I mean, it's decent looking. It's just not my favorite. I don't care what color it is. The only other thing I've had is really where this thing has started to pull away. So this fender well is actually starting to break away. Kind of surprised me because the body itself seems pretty stout. So I don't know. I'm not sure. That must be just the thinnest point when they mold these. But it's starting to pull away just in the one, I think, that left rear. Wasn't sure if a tire was causing it or not. But again, body really has been holding up pretty well other than that minor problem. And as you can see, I have hacked out the front window because I put my camera in there. Again, if you watch some of the other videos, you'll see a little camera riding up there and taking some videos. So that's my kind of 6-month usage review. I'll probably come back maybe in another 6 months, so about a year on this thing, let you know. I'm looking forward to some winter months here, taking it out in the snow and having some fun there too. This thing is just fun to relax and bash around with. So those are my thoughts. Please like, comment, all that jazz down below. It's great when people comment and we can have a conversation down there. If you own one of these, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe your experience was different. And maybe you found, this is what I'm looking for. One thing I might change, if I can find the right one, is a cool, more stock looking body that has minimal modifications to make it fit on here. If you know what that would be, let me know. I'm not a super fan, so Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Jeep, whatever, man. As long as it looks cool. I gotta say, I'm a little more impartial to the old Chevys because that's kind of what we had when I was a kid, but whatever, man. Or the Nissans. I saw some super cool Nissan bodies too. So anyway, I hope this helps those of you considering buying this. If it fits your budget, I gotta say, from what I've seen, and I don't have really any to personally compare it to, but from what I've seen and what I was looking at when I picked it out, this one fit the budget, and I've had a ton of fun with it. That is the Danchee Ridgerunner by Red Cat. So go out there, hobby, and have some fun. See you, everybody.